Valorant is dying. Or is it? Hey! So I've been playing Valorant for 2.5 years now, and I'm starting to wonder whether this game is actually dying or not. Like, I swear, everyone and their mothers is just saying that this game is dying, and even people who are known for playing Valorant are ditching this game altogether, so is it dying? I remember back in 2021 and 2022, you could not escape Valorant content creators on YouTube and TikTok. Like, you remember this?
For every kill you get, I'll give you an ooh.
Alright, bet.
Yeah, me too. I didn't want to remember that. But I digress. In order to get to the bottom of this, we're gonna have to take a look at the stats. So, what do the stats say? Yes, Valorant is dying just like CSGO is dying. Just like League is dying. Fuck League! Short answer is definitely yes. 37,000 viewers. This game is dying. 1 billion players. 1 trillion. Valorant confirmed dying. This game is so shit. Okay, maybe it's not quite dying yet. Just looking at the stats alone won't really give you the bigger picture. But I do have an opinion on it. I think Valorant is certainly at a point where things are a little stale right now, and in the recent months you can really feel the drop in the player base. And often you hear people say that the community has gotten so much worse, which is hard to really gauge whether that's true, but in some sense, this is the inevitable effect of an online game. Things like this do happen, especially for free ones. So what's Valorant's problem? Why are less people playing it, and why are people not making as much unique content as they did before? It's clear to me that Riot Games have a focus, and that focus is the competitive scene. This is most likely where they gather the vast amount of new players, and because, players see these competitive games that happen every year, they see cool moments on YouTube, and then they try the game and maybe even buy a skin. But the problem with such a heavy focus on the competitive scene is the incentive to not drastically change the game. And understandably, changing the game comes with its own risks. On one hand, you have people who hate the changes so much they quit the game. And on the other, you have people that will love it because finally the game is fresh. But it's a gamble, and I understand why Valorant chooses not to drastically change the metas every episode. With the nature of competitive games, especially FPSs, there aren't going to be that many gameplay changes. That is just the reality of things. The meta stays consistent over many years the same way basketball has always stayed the same over many decades. Valorant will most likely meet a similar fate. So what can we do? In my opinion, with such a vast amount of things to work with, like abilities, I feel as though Riot could definitely work on something here that doesn't have to really fall under the competitive scene at all. New game modes or even giving new players some freedom to create their own ideas through a controlled workshop could 100% benefit the game. I feel like it's just a matter of giving players something new every few months to really excite our neurons. Playing Swiftplay for the 900th time won't really do that. I'm not saying Valorant is bad, nor do I think Valorant will completely die. Though I think burnout is just really easy to have on Valorant. Let's look at CS for example. When CS2 released, it came only with ranked and casual modes. That's it. And this isn't the best dataset, but I played the game for maybe 1 month and got burnt out. CS being a competitive game itself naturally doesn't change much like Valorant does. But in CSGO, this was a completely different story. You know what I could do when I got bored of ranked games in CS? I could go surfing, bee-hopping, or I could play a completely custom game mode. This was the bread and butter of CS, besides skins. This is what makes CS a strong community and why it's still so big till this day, after so many years. When you give players the freedom to experiment and try different ideas with your own game, it often leads to some of the most awesome and breeds some of the most beautiful communities out there. This could apply to any game really, but I think this is the magic that Valorant is missing. And maybe over a few years this game may not necessarily die, but it certainly won't get any more exciting than it is now. At least that's what I think. Hopefully Valorant changes something. It doesn't have to be what I mentioned. Honestly, it could be anything. But yeah, Valorant isn't dead, guys, but it could use a few improvements. Thanks for watching. And here's a cookie.